There we go. Namaste and welcome. Welcome to the new Satsang Hall, and it's so wonderful to see everybody here. We have a good group today. This is really nice, and you would never fit in the old house. Just a few were packed in like sardines, so this is nice. We have a nice large place. So if you want to swing the camera around, you can see everybody that's here today. Very good. Yeah, he's got the system now.
Steady.
There you go. That was good. Excellent. We have Jesse on the camera today. 12 years old, our cameraman.
Jesse.
So that's excellent. Does anyone here have questions for the satsang today? God, you're all so quiet. So we'll go for the questions that have been sent in. Number 1, what are the healing effects of grace and flow, and how realization can divinely affect the harmony and health of the form, as well as every other aspect of the journey? Well, that's a misconception, that you think if you get realization that all of a sudden the form is never going to be ill. That's not the case. The form is the transient, okay? It's subject to the laws of the universe as what is here. So this is why, people wonder why the gurus, like Ramana had gotten cancer, all of these gurus that had gotten ill, why are they getting ill? It should be in divine health. But the body itself is subject to the laws of the universe. It's the transient, and we are not, focused on the form. We are not focused on let's getting health to that. That's not the main focus, okay? Our focus is on that one, that absolute, which has nothing to do with the transient things that take place. Like most of them, like Ramana said, well, let the form do what the form's going to do. What has that to do with me? The form is the vehicle, okay? So of course we want the vehicle to be in good working condition, but it's not about the vehicle. We are not the vehicle. We are that spirit which inhabits the vehicle, okay? The vehicle comes, the vehicle goes. Spirit is unchanging. That absolute divine essence that we are is unchanging. The unchanging absolute, okay? So while it's good to take care of the body, I'm not saying don't take care of the body. Of course you want a good working vehicle, but this is not where the focus is. The focus is to transcend that. Okay. So the grace and the flow, grace and flow. Grace is always there because the absolute is perfection. The absolute is perfection, and so that grace is always there. It's the absolute potentiality of everything. And so the grace is always there when we surrender and we let go. We can then have that absolute, that perfection that comes through. That totality, wholeness of being comes through. And so the people say, well, how do I get grace? By surrendering and getting ego out of the way, then grace appears. Grace is always there in great abundance. Okay, but you have a choice. Either you can be on the throne or God can be on the throne. And as long as you're on the throne, then guess what? You're under your own steam. And you create your karma. Okay, but when one surrenders, then grace appears. It was like in the order, we were given things to do, and I was the head carpenter and locksmith. Trust me, I knew nothing about carpentry nor being a locksmith. But we were given jobs to do, and we had to surrender, and we had to have that trust that divine will would come through, that the divine knowledge would come through. And so this was one of the tests, one of the practices. Okay? There was no ego saying, I can't do this. You had to do it. That was it. This is your job. You do it. There's no back talk. There's no nothing. And when one surrendered and got out of the way, then what was needed came through. That grace came through. Okay? So this is how grace is. And flow happens once one steps into beyond that ego thing, that the transient world is in flow, and nature doesn't need our help. Okay, so when we get out of the ego and we get into nature and we get into simplicity, and we quit having the world attempting to revolve around ego, then there's flow. Then flow starts to take place. Okay? So flow does not happen with ego, because ego wants to butt heads against everything to have its way. But when ego steps back out of the way, then flow is in place. Then we get flow. Okay? How much time do we have on there, Jesse?
6 minutes and 17 seconds.
That's where we're at so
Yep.
far? So let's go ahead and stop that, and then we'll go on to the next question.